So I've never been all too consistent in the gym for the most of my life. I discovered weightlifting around maybe the freshman or sophomore year of high school. I had been in a gym before. My parents had bought me a gym membership, and I worked with a trainer for maybe a few months. And we did like body weight training and resistance band training. And I just never understood really what I was doing. Later, I would find on YouTube certain channels things that would motivate me and inspire me to want to weightlift, but I still didn't really know what it was or how to get it done. And it wasn't until I discovered functional fitness that I became enamored with the idea of going to the gym. Before, it seemed like I was just going, I didn't know, I had no clear vision in my mind of what was going to be accomplished with me doing all the body lifting movements. And because I didn't know where I was going and what I was doing, I could never be consistent. So I would go one day, just smash a bunch of different body parts with the machines. Especially squats used to kill me because I would do it incorrectly, and then I would be hurting and be sore, and then I wouldn't go back to the gym until like later that month. And since then, I've discovered a way better way of training, and that's to optimize functionality. And so, if probably most of you don't know my story at this point, but I came home from the mission a year ago. A mission is where like I went to go serve for the church, and I was preaching the gospel to people. Anyways, while on the mission, it was during COVID. I was actually very. I guess we were locked. We were locked in quarantine, and I was very sedentary. So I would do exercise for 30 minutes in the morning according to our schedule, but that still was not enough. I also added that because I know no one wants to see all that. But the room was super small, and by the way, this is my new apartment gym, and it's like a hotel gym, super small, and so angling is tough in here. Anyways, I was gonna say that in quarantine, my body began to atrophy very quickly, and now atrophy is when your musculature diminishes and is reduced due to inactivity. And so when I came home from the mission, all I knew was one thing: I wanted to get healthy and get strong again because like I had like old man problems where like my hips and my lower back were hurting just from like sitting down or standing up, and I knew my body was in bad shape. And so I found this account. It's like God works in crazy specific instances where like when something happens, you know it couldn't have been a coincidence. But I stumbled across this YouTube channel of a guy who lives in Australia, which is really weird because mostly YouTube will circulate videos that are within your region, I guess, or like your country. But I found this guy from Australia who was like kind of a smaller channel, and his whole thing was squatting every day, and I was like, wow, like that blew my mind. I was like, how is that even possible? Because I would squat once a month, and I would have all sorts of problems when soreness and tightness and all these things. Anyways, so I began this journey, this process, and for about a 6 month period, I squatted almost every day, and now I squat like once or twice a week, but it gave me a great basis of strength. I was able to recover a lot of muscle mass in my body, and in my mind, I realized one thing is that functionality is far more important than anything else. There's like a strength component to training. There's aesthetics, which is basically how your body looks when you begin getting into shape. But functionality should be the basis for all training. You should be able to use your body in the way that God designed it. And so today, I went to this gym, and obviously it's a small room. There's no free weights, no squat rack. So I had to use the dumbbells and be creative. And this is the first time I've ever tried doing like an athletic style workout like this. Doing lunges, doing all these things. And the goal is to promote greater stability in each of the, like, so they call it unilateral movements. Bilateral is when you work two sides of your body at the same time. Unilateral is when you only do one. And if you've been watching, you can tell I've been stumbling, and like my form is pretty bad. But I recognize one thing, and that's that my left leg is a lot less developed than my right leg. Not like as far as musculature, but as far as coordination and stability goes. And that's indicative that when I've been squatting, I've been using my right leg dominantly, and my left leg has been there to support. And so training like this is a great way to identify your weaknesses and to build them into strengths. So I did a bunch of lunges. I did some shoulder presses at the end, kind of like some explosive style shoulder presses, and it was crazy. And this is something I've been suspecting for a while, that when you train, especially when you're starting out, the greatest fatigue is not on your muscles, it's actually on your nervous system if you train properly. And when you shock your nervous system, it forces your body to adapt. And so I've adopted this approach to training where sorry, even if I don't go in crazy on doing a bunch of different exercises, if I challenge my core's integrity and its stability, you see here, it's really awkward me trying to figure out the movement properly. Anyways, if I can challenge my core's integrity and stability with a heavy pressure, whether it be a heavy weight or a complicated movement or motion, that is enough that if it challenges my nervous system, it doesn't matter which muscles it challenges, like the whole nervous system is going to adapt. And when your nervous system is adapting, your musculature, your bone density, everything else develops around it. And so I think most people have an incorrect method of approaching fitness where they try and enlarge their muscles and do all these things first. And they don't take consideration to their body's functionality and especially how the nervous system is designed. So here to further challenge my core stability and everything, single arm dumbbell presses with my shoulders, just basically an upward pressing motion. And yeah, this was a great gym session. And although I didn't train heavy, relatively compared to like my squatting, I did challenge my core, my rotational stability, and my hip mobility, and basically challenge like most of the major functions of my body just with dumbbells, which is something that most people don't think about. They think you need all this equipment, they think you need all this space and even like a bunch of time. Like I worked out for maybe 20 minutes, and I left that gym sweating like crazy, and like my body was activated. I could feel everything that I did. So one thing I was curious to see is that I've noticed kind of a weakness in they call it the rear deltoids are the shoulder muscles. So the rear deltoid, the back of my shoulder, the shoulder muscles there are underdeveloped, and I've known that for a little bit. But now when I was doing the lunges today, I noticed that like my left hip and my left leg strength was lacking. And I've theorized about this for a while, but if you consider how all the muscles are like interlaid and overlap over each other, but also connect, they're all like connected in a system. In order for your body to turn side to side, I'm sure there has to be a muscular system that connects your shoulders to the opposite hip. Like it can't just be all vertical; it has to cross over at some point. And I think I kind of tested that to maybe be true today, because I noticed that my hip, the left hip and the right shoulder, if they were connected, it makes sense because those are both my weak points. And my left shoulder and my right hip are my stronger points. And so now I'm going to be working to fix that. And of course, that's going to be unilateral movements of like just isolating those. But also the rotational stuff is also going to help with that, I think. But anyways, that's it for me today. I would encourage anyone who's listening who hasn't done it yet, before you do any of this athletic style training, just build up basic strength. Squat as much as you can. And you can watch some of my videos if you want to learn about that. If you've already built a decent base of strength, go into athletic movements, unilateral stuff. And then there's the next progression after that is like all the powerful and explosive motions. Like, I don't know. It's all a step-by-step process. You can't just do it. You can't train like an athlete out of the gate. That's how people get injured, and that's how people like they lose their way in fitness, because they don't find a love or like a need for the fitness. Anyways, I'm rambling, so I'm going to turn off the video, but thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.